Hey guys, in this video I show you a meal that I make all the time. Right now I'm in more of a fat loss phase. So in this video I'm talking about some of the different foods regarding fat loss. You'll see how easy this meal is to prep, effortless. That's why I'm encouraging you to jump on for this holiday challenge round, 6-week fat apocalypse challenge round that we have, because you're going to be getting all the recipes, all the tips, all the training advice that myself, that Lauren has regarding optimizing your fat loss on a vegan diet. So I would love for you to come over and roll in that 6-week challenge with us coming into the holiday season. The website is www.fatapocalypse.com and the link is in the description below. We will see you there. Alright guys, I am going to be making my lunch for you today. Lauren will tell you this is a lunch that I do all the time pretty much. I'll rotate little things about it, but predominantly it's what you're going to see is the breakdown that I do every day. I'll usually rotate the protein source a little bit from tempeh or tofu, seitan. I'll even add in some of these long Eve plant-based pea protein crumbles. So it's like textured vegetable protein, but it's pea based. The first thing is flax tempeh. So for my meal, I'll do a whole block of flax tempeh because this is post-workout. So you can see in there there's like flax seed. It's fermented. You can see the little white pieces. That's the fermentation in it. There's some brown rice in there as well as the soybeans too. So let me cut this up. So basically what I do is I just cut it into strips like this. And then I'll go this way, bang. So what I'm doing is I'm cubing it up because I'm going to air fry it a little bit just to crisp it off a little bit. I don't like to overcook tempeh too much, so I just throw that in the air fryer like so, and I'll push it all to one side because I'm going to throw my butternut squash down that side in a second. So it's 390 degrees Fahrenheit, big knife, butternut squash.
I just started using butternut squash because it is more of a cutting kind of friendly carbohydrate source, but similar to sweet potato. So it's not as starchy, it's less calorie dense than sweet potato, but it kind of gives you the same feel, same taste.
So that, I mean, if that was a chunk of sweet potato, it would probably be 250 calories. But because it's butternut squash, this block is probably only about 120 to 130 calories. The reason why I can be so accurate with my guessing is because I've made this so many times and I've weighed it a lot before.
That's the benefit to eating the same foods.
Yeah, visually I can eyeball this and be like, okay, that's about like 100 to 120, 130 calories at the most in terms of weight once the skin is removed. And so what I'm saying is that in terms of fat loss, food volume can be a very helpful tool. So if that was sweet potato, it would be like twice the amount of calories. And so what I've done is I've reduced down the amount of calories in the meal while still keeping the volume the same. So what I do now is halve it down the middle. I'm basically going to cube this up. So I will cut this into little cubes, and then what I will do is put that in the microwave just to soften it up, because I've noticed that if I put it in the air fryer straight away, it's still really hard. The air fryer won't, I mean, you could probably drop the temperature on the air fryer right down and just cook it for longer, but I'd rather just soften it up in the microwave first and then fry it off in the air fryer to get it crisp. Because the thing with butternut squash is because it's got a higher water content, it doesn't crisp up as easily as potato does. So that's why I use the air fryer. And because with the air fryer, obviously you have less oil, you don't have to use oil. I'll usually do like maybe 1 or 2 potato settings, it just depends. It's usually 2 for a piece that big. I found that if I do 1, it's still tough. What I got here is like the fibrous vegetables that I'll use for the base. I go for a 50-50 blend. That way I'm getting some spinach in there with some other colored greens. You know, like different colors represent different micronutrients. So obviously the purple, slightly different micronutrient content than the green stuff. And I'll just basically cut it up loosely like this, so it's not big, humongous leaves. I just find that it's a little bit easier to eat once you mix everything together. Red pepper. I don't do a lot of the red pepper in the meals. It's usually just like 2 of these sides per meal. I like to cut it up kind of chunky. Lauren likes it diced really fine. I usually do about half a zucchini. Again, kind of chunky. So that is part of the fibrous vegetable base that I'm using. And then what I will do is I'll use this sauerkraut. It's probably one of my favorites. So I'll put about like a serving in there. Can you see I didn't even like measure that or anything? I just eyeball it. With stuff like this, it's just so low in calories. To me, it's not even worth weighing or measuring it unless you want to develop an eating disorder. And I ain't about that. And I don't have the time for that. And nor should you. Now, artichoke hearts quartered. So I usually do about half a can. So 1 can is about 70 calories, which is not a lot. So half a can is like 35 calories. And the reason why I add that in is, again, adding more fibrous bulk to the meal. I want to add a lot of fiber in there. It helps keep me fuller with less calories. So all of that stuff in there right now is probably only like 150 calories, if that. I'll add 1 pack of the Palm Mini noodles in. These are Heart of Palm noodles. They're definitely the best noodle substitute I've found that's very low in calories. So this whole pack is 70 calories. I drain these and then I just throw them in that, and I will put that in the microwave for 60 seconds. Now I have the air fryer. The tempeh is done. That's about as much as I want it done. I don't want it, see, it's just a little brown. If you leave it in for too long, it gets dry as hell. Then what I'll do is I get the butternut squash out of the air fryer.
Out of the microwave.
Yeah, so it was in for about 5 minutes on the potato setting. The reason why I put it on the potato setting is just because it cooks it a little bit slower. It's not going to dry it out so much. Again, I honestly set everything to 390, which is the max temperature, and I just eyeball the temperature. So even if it says 10 minutes, I'll open that periodically to assess like if it's done. Because it just depends on how much you put in there. Like if you put in a lot, it cooks slower. If you put in less, it cooks faster. Add some of these long Eve pea protein, and this is just to give it like crunchiness. This is like, it's like croutons. It's not like, oh man, I need more protein. This is more like to give different textures. That's why I enjoy the food and I can eat this for so long, because it's a lot of diverse textures. So 1.5 cups of this is about 220 calories, and it's 40 grams of protein, and it's made from textured pea protein. So I'll just put in like 2 tablespoons of that. I don't even know, I mean, it's probably like, I don't know, 30 or 40 calories, maybe. Just enough to give it a little, it's more so to give it some bite. So can you see it? Look at how much is in there. All of that stuff I put in there is probably about...
This is a mixing bowl,
yeah,
by the way.
All of the stuff I put in there is probably about 200 calories total. Okay, I knew I was going to run out of that. Coconut aminos. I like that this is a base. It kind of, as weird as it sounds, it kind of lubricates the meal.
Great choice of words.
I know, it lubricates the meal.
It makes it moist.
I cannot think of another
Two
term.
awful words.
It lubricates the meal because like all the salad greens are like dry. And typically what people will do is they'll...
Add some moisture, there you
yeah.
go. It's better than lubricating.
Typically what people will do is they will drown their food in salt and like some kind of condiment. I just put a little bit of ketchup in there. So all of this is the base. Now obviously this is for me. For most people they would probably do half of this, if that, maybe even like a third of this. This is huge. But I only have like 2 meals like this per day. Now with the hummus, 1 serving of hummus is about 2 tablespoons. So that's probably about 2 tablespoons if I flatten them out. This is what most people do when it comes to measuring stuff. They'll say this is 1 tablespoon and they'll log it in their tracking as 1 when really it's like 2 or 3. And they don't know where all their extra, they don't know why they're not losing body fat. You have to kind of be conscious with that, I guess. The next thing is bitchin sauce. It's probably one of my favorite condiments. Again, I just do like 1 sort of like decent tablespoon. So now that I've got the sauce in there, the sauce is probably more calories than the whole thing there. So it's probably about 120 to 140 calories of sauce, which really isn't that much. Like honestly, most people do way more than that. So what I've done is I mix it all through. So this is like a creamy base. like with the hummus especially. It's almost like a creamy, like a carbonara style thing going on. The butternut squash is probably close to being done. Yeah. See, I wait till there's a couple of patches that are kind of like crispy like that. I dump that in, and to top things off, I put a little bit of this vegan peanut coconut whole food brand sauce. So this is 60 calories per 2 tablespoons. So I literally just kind of drizzle that over very gently. It just adds like an extra layer of like flavor to the meal. And that's it, guys. I just mix that up, and that is my post-workout lunch. So thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. Let me know if you try this meal. Tag us on Instagram if you try it. Was there any tips in here that you found particularly helpful? Let us know in the comments. Remember, guys, subscribe, like, show Zia some love, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Bye. So, if you guys enjoyed what I showed you, this is my call to action for you. I want you to come and join us for our 6-week Fat Apocalypse holiday challenge, potentially the last challenge that we'll be running. So come over and join it with us. All the stuff I talked about in this video with this recipe is going to be what you'll be learning in this experience while getting some vegan fat loss coming into the holiday season, so you can feel good about having those down times with your family, and you can roll into January 2020 not playing catch up. So guys, jump in www.fatapocalypse.com. The link is in the description box below. Join us. That's my invitation to you. We will see you on the inside.